know y'all notice the bare cover is gone. That's because it be dry in my house and I be cutting off the heat because the heat makes it like 10 times worse. So I take my bare cover, I take it up to one of my 4 bedrooms. Yeah, I do well for myself. And then I take it up there. And then when I go up there, I kind of like stay, you feel me? I kind of like keep it up there. So that's kind of like what I've been doing with that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gonna have to wait for a second. I gotta use the bathroom. But we are the biggest, by the way. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. For those of y'all that's gonna be watching this back, if and when you get a chance, that'll be much appreciated. Give me 1 second. I think I gotta take this mic off because y'all gonna hear everything if I do so. Excuse me. I've been doing leg days too, so if y'all see me looking funny, don't try to talk about me. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about me to my face. You know what I'm saying? Just know that. Don't talk about me to my face. And don't mind that echo. Woo! I feel like $1,000,000. All right, now we can do this. And I know y'all pay me now because we're full of monetized, by the way. So I know I need to act more professional. But I appreciate y'all being here. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind that echo and all that ghetto-ness, y'all. I mean, I know y'all pay me because we fully monetized, but y'all don't pay me that much. You know what I'm saying? A budget like this big. So y'all got to work with me. If y'all want me to not use the bathroom during the stream or before the stream or after the stream, during the stream, then pay me more subscribers, I guess. Pay me more, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Work with me. We got our magic number 3, by the way. I appreciate y'all being here. And if you don't have anything to sip on, like this Gator Light, you know what I'm saying, to rehabilitate those electrolytes, just sit back, get you a nice glass of water, a glass of warm milk, and have a dope conversation with your boy Solo Bodman. Because Bodman is not just a saying that I use; it's a phrase. Because in a world that pretends to be good, really the bad guys are winning. But we're gonna be bad in the world that pretends to be good because the bad is going overrun the good, the fake good. You know, the light. You know, the light bearers. Because we're in a world that's supposed to be ran by the light, a world under God. You know what I'm saying? But this world is kind of ran by Lucifer. So, you know, we're going to be bad against Lucifer. That's what Bodman stands for. And I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. When y'all get a chance, share this with about 5 people after the live stream, all that type of stuff. But we're done paying. We're done advertising. How many of y'all think that food is a human right? You might be like, that's a crazy question, bro. What do you mean? Of course, food is a human right. How many of you think that food is a human right? You can talk to me. You can talk to me. I haven't seen in the comments. So I guess let's just assume that everybody thinks that food is a human right, right? You think that food is a human right, right? Right? 2014 and 2021, the UN had a discussion, a national forum. Oh, I can't see that. I think good is a human right. Bro, it should be free. It should be, right? And I'm squinting right now because it's so dry in my house. Yo, y'all, be careful. Be careful. You know what I mean? These weird winter weathers, and then it gets cold, and then it gets hot, then it gets a little warm, then it gets really cold, and then it snows. That kind of like messes up with the precipitation in the air. And like, I can't buy enough humidifiers for my house. It's too big. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be dry, bro, and I just be, man. Anyways, food should be a human right. We all assume that, right? We all assume that, right? We all assume that food is a human right, right? Let me get this chair, my throne out the way so y'all can see me. It's going to be an active live today. We all assume that food is a human right. 2014, 2021, the UN had a national summit, with all the countries, all the diversities, of all the world. But if you look at the UN summit, it's really pale. I mean, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying it's really pale. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's really pale. But it represents like the world. I don't know. Anyways, 2014, 2021, the UN had a national summit. One of the resolutions was to make internationally that all the countries need to come together and to aid one another in the food shortage crisis. The crisis that Bill Gates, I'm gonna get to the point. The crisis that Bill Gates and these pedophile trillionaires and billionaires say that is a humanitarian crisis, but the reason that we have this crisis is because there's too many people on the planet. So, you got a lot of population. Is the heads of Microsoft, the heads of Google, the heads of eBay, the heads of Nike. My point being, 2014, 2021, 180 votes to 2. That means 180 nations voted that food is a human right, and only 2 decided that it wasn't a human right. I'm going to let you guess which 2 countries or nations said that food wasn't a human right. I'm going to let you guess. While I take another sip of my sponsor today, Gator Electrolyte. Because you got to get your electrolytes up because they want you to be dry when they playing with the weather. We're going to talk about that too. Maybe not today, but we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give y'all a second. What 2 nations do you think decided that food wasn't a human right? Because there was only 2. Y'all just said it. Y'all smart. Hey, I wouldn't assume that the greatest nation on the planet would vote and say that food isn't a human right. Y'all said it. I'm going to go ahead and say it, though, for everybody in the back of the class, and for those of us that's going to be watching this back. 2 nations decided that food wasn't a human right. The United States and Israel. The United States. I know I got the mic on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm passionate, though. I'm sorry. The United States and Israel decided that food is not a human right. You might be like, whoa, that's out of context. There has to be more nuance behind that. There has to be something that we're missing about that. There has to be something that we don't understand about that, because that just sounds ludicrous. That sounds audacious. That sounds beyond our comprehension for basic human decency. Well, I'm going to save you some work. I mean, go ahead and read into it, read on it yourself. I implore you to do so, but I'm going to save you some work. I read into it. And you know what the resolution or the reasoning for us voting against that was as a nation? Because of the language in the bill. Yeah. It wasn't that anything specific like outright, we just decided that food isn't a human right. No, we said that we didn't like the language in the bill because it was biased as far as sharing of technology with other nations. Meaning, if we're going to decide as a conglomerate, as a planet, that food is a human right, that means that we also need to share data and we need to share resources. So America doesn't want to share data and America doesn't want to share resources with the UN Council that we've already agreed to be a part of. Language. Literature. Literature in the bill is why we didn't agree upon that. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about America and Israel contextualizing human rights? Then furthermore, I'm going to break it down even more. Furthermore, they say that as we agree that food should be a human commodity, should be a human, that humans should have access to food, we believe that we should leave that up to the state to decide upon your rights or access to free food. But we overall agree with the sentiment that food should be for everybody. Let me break that down for us, for those of us that don't really know too much about law, for those of us that don't really buy into bullshit or see past bullshit, because that's what that is. That's bullshit. Let me break it down for you. We don't agree that we should have to pay, send money or resources for everybody, including our own citizens, to have food as a federally in a globally recognized effort. We'll leave that up to our individual citizens in our individual states. But as a federal thing, meaning as a countrywide thing, we don't give a fuck. And as a global thing, we for shit sure aren't going to share our resources. That's where you live at. That's where you live at. So I just want you to understand, comprehend, the next time you hear somebody talking about, you hear these politicians, and this was in 2014 and in 2020 and in 2021, by the way. Two different demographics. I mean, two different, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Two different parties. It was a blue party the first time, 2014. I believe that's what, Obama. Then the next time was Trump. So it's not a, don't let these people mislead you and confuse you as to, no, the Democrats only think like this, or the Republicans only think like this. Your nation thinks like this. Your nation doesn't believe that you should live on their dime. But wait a minute, on their dime, are they paying for it out of their pockets? How does this get paid? I don't know. We have something called state property and federal taxes and local municipality taxes. We pay for everything we do. Don't you believe or don't you buy into that you don't pay your way? If you've ever worked a day in your life, you've paid your way in this country. But they don't believe that you should have food. So, man, is that what this whole life? I mean, so they don't believe we have food. What are we going to do about it? We've talked a lot of drink more electrolytes so you can talk, Nicholas. Oh, you don't need to know my name. Solar Man, excuse me. So what are you going to do about it? What can we possibly do about this? You know, I was raised up in a church. I was raised by good Southern black folk. I was raised by good old law-abiding, tax-paying, good people. I was raised by good people. And you know what good people do? Good people keep their head down and do what they're told. Good people keep their head down and do what they're supposed to do. Good people minimize risk. Good people obey authority. What has being good gotten us in this country? I'm not an anarchist. So what you getting at, Solar Man? This is what I'm getting at with that first point in my first topic. You live in a society, and why does it matter, first and foremost, before I surmise that, why does it matter that Israel in America doesn't believe that you should have free food or access to food, not only globally, but domestically here in these United States? Why does that matter? Well, it matters is because these two places just so happen to be the biggest military powers in the planet right now. It just so happens. I mean, it just so happens. I mean, it just so happens that the people with the most military willpower and force and the biggest budgets just so happen to agree unanimously that shit nobody get nothing. So why does that matter? Well, I just said it. But if you want more proof, the superpowers of the world, the ones that's controlling the world as of right now, for the last, I'll give it 75 years. I won't even say 100. 75 years, the superpowers of the world don't believe in basic human rights. The superpowers of the world are in the hot seat right now. Y'all know what's going on with all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I mean, everybody's an expert now. Everybody's an expert. Everybody, cares about sexual assault victims. And I'm not making fun of it and I'm not making light of it. I'm just bringing to a point of critique that we're hypocrites. Most people are hypocrites. These two places, Israel and United States, have the most international war crimes being brought against them by other nations at this time. And our enemies, the bad guys, I'm talking about the bad guys. I'm talking about China. You know China. China, they sent that coronavirus over here. They did, but we also kind of bought that over here too. And we do a lot of stuff over there. Don't you believe that we don't? But China, China. And then you got Russia, Russia, Putin and them, the bad guys. I'll even throw you a bone. North Korea even said that food is a human right. And they're like in the 1940s in their country. So what you need to understand and what you need to start accepting is what you've been taught about being a good citizen, being an upstanding a neighbor, being a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. All you're doing is called enabling. All you're doing is enabling a demonic, tyrannical, perverted, perverse, bigoted, classist system. These people, and I don't even know if they're people. Yeah, I'm starting to get back to my old ways. I'm not even sure if these people are people because they don't behave like people. These things if they don't think you should have right to free to just food, what else? Then you kind of, this is what I'm getting at. You kind of got to open up the playbook as to what else might you be exposed to being around people who don't really think that you deserve anything, that you don't deserve food, that you don't deserve shelter. What else? And then they say things out loud out of their cut mouths. They say things out of their mouths. They say things like humans are destroying the planet. You mean the planet where we pay taxes to, where we show up to work to, where we raise our children at, where we compete for food, and to not be thrown into a prison system that is built to harass and to antagonize the lower classes and not hold accountable the upper classes. We're talking about that planet. We're talking about these people. You gotta start questioning if they don't think we should have food, then weather manipulation has to be something that we can at least consider, right? We talked about this the other week. Cloud seeding is a real thing, people. Cloud seeding. They call it cloud seeding. They call it cloud seeding. They call it cloud seeding. Okay? They call it cloud seeding. Okay? Cloud seeding is a real thing. And with cloud seeding, this is what happens. This is what happens with cloud seeding, all right? You take a machine, or you take a plane, or a satellite. Usually a plane, though. This is the proper way to do it. You take a plane, you take it, and it has like a picture like a barrel, like an ingredients barrel. It has an ingredients barrel up under it. It flies up over your city, your town, your state. It flies over and makes its rounds, and it releases particles and ions and metals and mixes them in with the natural precipitation, with the natural clouds that's already there, and it creates either condensed clouds to produce more rain and make it more heavier, or whatever we're looking for, or disperses clouds. It does whatever you want it to do. But that's how you do it. You can either do that from a plane with with a bunch of spices and ingredients over it, or you can do it from a stadium, or you can do it from like a stadium and aim your satellites at the sky and send out certain frequencies to manipulate the weather around you. What am I getting at, Solar Man? What are you talking about? I'm talking about you live in a place where people don't think you should have food. You live in a place where they actively have admitted to manipulating the weather. That's where you live. You live in a place where they said that there's too many people. That's what I said. No, that's not what I said. That's what they said. That's where you live. As you're living here, do you think that it's appropriate or good for you to just pay taxes and shut up? You think that's a good idea? Let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I honestly think. I'm aware that we are good people. Again, we good people. We good people. We good people. I'm aware we good people. All right? I just told y'all I come from good people. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak on myself. You know what I'm saying? But we come from good people. All right? So since we come from good people, let me tell y'all a realistic plan of action. I'm going to give y'all two scenarios. The first scenario is what you can do being good people. And then the second scenario is what you can't do being good people. Like, meaning if you don't do nothing, what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you. And it might happen anyway regardless, but this is what's going to happen. The first scenario, being good people, is what you can do. I talk about it all the time, but for those of y'all that's just now meeting me, yeah, you want to think I'm crazy? I think it's crazy to just keep doing what you're supposed to do. I think that's far more crazy than I could ever be. But anyways, this is what you do as good people. This is what you do, good people. Everybody got Facebook friends, right? Everybody got Instagram friends, right? Everybody got X friends, right? Everybody got some people that they know that's good people. We all know some good people. All right? This is what you do. If you can't organize yourself in your local community because we don't really talk to each other no more, we're bad neighbors, primarily speaking. We don't like each other because we black or we white or whatever the case may be. This is what you do. You organize 5 of you. 5 is all it takes to start a revolution. 1, really, the idea starts in the mind. And once the revolution starts in the mind, it has to transmit somewhere. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one place to another. So if you have the energy of revolution, you have already started a revolution. You just don't know what to do with it. So it's kind of like you're just sitting with it. But that energy has went somewhere. I'm teaching you, or I'm telling you rather, how to use it appropriately. So this is what you do, good people. You get you 5 other good people, and you pull your resources together. Your money, your food, your skills. You pull them together. And you create a community, whereas you look out for each other and you do for one another. In the case of a bigger plan, which I'm getting to, but this is what you do on base level. There needs to be many pockets of us that are looking out for one another, taking care of one another, and uplifting one another. Not for your dreams. Pause your dreams real quick. I just told you have bigger issues than your dreams right now. Unless your dreams are to organize people and feed them. Because, kind of like the institution that you pay for, that you might have served in the military for, they don't believe that you should eat or have shelter or healthcare. So you organize yourself amongst other good people. 5 of you. And you set your community that way. And if you can get to 5, I'm certain you can get to 10. Once we have different pockets of people that are looking out for each other, good people helping good people, once you have this, then, only then, is it appropriate for us to say, fuck your taxes. Fuck your votes. Your elections, I mean. Fuck them. Until we have an understanding of communities helping communities for the purposes of looking out for one another because our institutions have failed us, you keep voting. Keep paying your taxes. Keep sending your children to these Rothschild, Maxwellian schools. Me, I don't have any children. And I thank God. Because I'd be damned if I raised them in a society like this. It's beneath me. And I'm popping my shit a little bit. It's beneath me. And I went to these schools that I'm saying are beneath me. So I know it's beneath me. They're not even pretending like they give a damn about public education anymore. They're not even pretending. That's what you do. So that's the first scenario. Organize good people with good people. That's the first scenario. Second scenario. Let's entertain the idea that you don't do anything about it. Let's entertain this. Let's say we just keep doing what we're doing. We talk about it, at least. We like and share it on Facebook and Instagram. You know, we comment. You know, we bitch, essentially. Hey, I'm a part of the problem as well. I'm just saying this is what we're doing, though. Let's be honest about it, people. Let's be honest, people. We bitch. But we just keep doing what we're doing now. Let me tell you what happens. You're getting to a point, and I'm going to do a whole separate live on this, but you're getting to a point where a new world order has to happen. It has to happen. A new world order has to happen. And let me tell you why it has to happen. It has to happen because we have political ideologies that do not agree on the common good of mankind. So what's eventually going to happen is we're going to get so fed up as a planet that we just need a common solution, a common enemy, which will more than likely be Israel, United States. It seems to be appropriate. But a common enemy, a common goal, free healthcare, free food, shelter, protection from Zionist, American, and Israeli. You will get to a place and a point where it has to happen. Not that it might, not when. We're creating conditions for it to happen. The conditions of the workforce have deteriorated so much that the beast will become even more stronger. And y'all know what beast I'm talking about. I'm talking about AI. So, AI doesn't have to eat. It doesn't have to sleep. It doesn't need shelter. All it needs is your information and your subservience, which it's asking for it right now. It's asking for it right now. It's asking for it right now. We're getting to a point in the time and place where it has to happen. It's my first topic. I went on a rant. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of y'all comments before I get to my next topic. I hope y'all doing well, by the way. Welcome in, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. I go by the name Solar Man. They don't want you to eat. I feel played. You are being played. Emotionless characters. That's exactly what you're dealing with. Again, I'm not even sure that they're human. And I do mean that. So, let me give you another example of why I don't think these people or these things are humans. I just saw a comment. Let me read that real quick. Seems like you having the same day I'm having. Oh, I'm having a swell day. Don't you? The day that you have is completely determined up to you. Even if you are being influenced externally by micro, passive aggressive or outwardly aggressive signals from these black mirrors right here, that are sending out signals and that are downloading and learning our bio information, our patterns and behaviors. Or if you're being affected by the pesticides, I just told you, by the pesticides that are in our air through cloud seeding. Or what's the conspiracy version of cloud seeding? I forget. Not that they're admitting the shit. I forget what the conspiracies used to say. Cloud seeding is chemtrails. Through cloud seeding, chemtrails, even if you're being affected by that, even if you're being affected and programmed through television programming, network programming, which is outsourced its way to apps and miniseries, etc. The day that you have is still programmed and engineered based on your choice and your participation in it. You have the ultimate computer here in your mind, from the short answer. My next topic is this. So we're talking about food, right? And it's good that we're talking about food because everybody got to eat, right? A lot of farmers that voted for Donald Trump have realized that they're having to foot the cost of packaging for food products that they normally didn't have to pay so much on because of his tariff war. So a lot of farmers that voted for Trump are kind of like getting bent over. Excuse my language, but we gotta keep it real. Are getting bent over and are realizing, like, man, you know, I was all for him closing the border. I was all for him bringing transparency back to Washington. I was all for it. But man, you're fucking with my pockets now, man. Mostly the silent white majority farmers are feeling this. And hey, if you are in a certain tax bracket, which most farmers are mostly millionaires, and they don't look like it because they don't dress, they don't dress to impress like Solo Botman. They don't dress to impress, they dress to work. Hey, I'm a real country boy at life. I know it. They dress to work. So you wouldn't even know. But most of them are millionaires. And most of them, their pockets are hurting. Because of imports and labor shortages, because of the slave labor that they used to hire. I'm gonna get you a comment in just a second, bro. Because of the slave labor that they used to hire, now they having issues with people who don't want to do slave work. You know what I'm saying? Being out in them fields. Being out in them fields, because a lot of them, they burn easy. You know what I'm saying? They burn pretty easy. A lot of them don't want to be out there in them fields. There is an epidemic of, and then on top of that, 80% of your landscape, of your land, is being bought up by private corporations and billionaires like Bill Gates, the pedophile, the herpes carrying, eugenicist, bigoted, Microsoft gaming motherfuckers want to still buy his games and shit. Him, the globalist who always brings his contraceptive birth control ideas to black people, but not to white people, because he wants more white people, less black people. That guy. So not only is your land shrinking because private entities are monopolizing the land, which you're not allowed to do. Our FCC, our institutions have failed us. Our FCC is our FTC, our Federal Trade Commission. They're supposed to stop shit like that. You can't monopolize anything. You can't monopolize industry because that makes capitalism unfair. And that makes the giants more gianter. And us little people who are trying to do something with ourselves, it makes it damn near impossible. So not only is your land shrinking up, it's hard for you to get some land, keep that in mind. But then also the regulations on what you can do with your food are changing. A lot of people are feeling that now. So if you mad that your food has so much pesticides in it, that your food tastes differently than it did when you were a little kid, a little girl, a little boy, you can thank your institution for that too. Because the standards for what we're allowed to do with our food and how we're allowed to sell it have changed. The demand has become higher. And the resources have become smaller. So your locally owned farms, you should support them because they're kind of like the last foundation of America. America started with farms and America will end with farms. Mark my word on this. And that goes with the world as well. The world started with farmers. The world will go back to farming. Most people will become farmers, not consumers. Otherwise, they won't survive. I'm aware of this. I'm aware of it. You've been having an increasing in more farmer competition, particularly with the black farmers. You know, because after Reconstruction, there was a lot of black farmers. A lot of black people had farms. They had a lot of land. But just like this country does, just like the world does, the bigger people took their land through manipulation, through lies, through government, through outright terrorism, burning, poisoning cows, etc. Anyways, you got something going on like that right now. What I'm getting at is that you have an opportunity to have an abundant community, even if your institutions have failed you. You have an opportunity for that. Do you think you can still be, do you think you can still be a good person if you fight the enemy? For instance, like war, or do you think it's a trap for good people to turn bad? That's a great question. That's a great point as well. It's a great question and it's a great point as well. Great question is a great point. We'll kind of talk about that right now. It's kind of like, what do you define as good? That's a real question. And I'm going to answer that for you by assuming that we base good or based off the moralic, and I don't know if that's a word it is today, the moralic principles of the Mosaic Law, basically the 10 Commandments. That's how we based our morality off of. That makes you a good person or not. So, if that's what makes you a good person or not, can you be good fighting evil? Because when you got to be good, evil doesn't play good. It's essentially what you're telling me. Meaning, these people kill, steal, lie, eat, cannibalize, do demonic rituals, prayers, and that's what we living up under. So how can you be good fighting against something like that? Because what you got to do, what you'll end up having to do is having to kill them. I get what you're saying. I've thought about this too, bro. Everything evolves. And in order for us to go forward, we have to look at what we've had to do historically. There has been no change in this world. Mark my words on this, brother, sisters. Forever's going to be watching this back. There has been no change in this world that hasn't been brought about through revolution. Haiti did not win its independence by asking. America did not win its independence by asking. Burkina Faso has not won its independence by asking. There is a time to live. There is a time to fight. There is a time to rest. And there's a time to die. In order for the change to happen and for things to actually get back to a place of normalcy, it won't be by us asking. It'll be by what we actively do. That doesn't mean actively go out and murder. No, sir, that's not what I'm advocating for. It goes back to the simple things: how you organize yourself, what you consider God to be, how you relate God to your personal life, and then exercise your understanding of God in your daily life and how you treat others. Because it's getting to a place and a point where you're going to have to learn how to, this is what you're up against. You're going to have to learn how to deal with biochemical warfare, sound engineering warfare, the poisoning and tainting of your water and food. Outside of that, you're also going to learn, you're going to have to learn how to, which we're already doing. We're already evolving in this. You're going to have to learn how to deal with drones and artificial intelligence warfare, fake animatronic animals used as spies, incels that pose themselves as allies, but are actually agents of the beast, used to destroy you from within. You can't do any of this. You can't understand any of this. You can't organize yourself amongst any of this unless you understand this. And where we at with it? Unless you understand all of this. And I'm at 41. You know I gotta make it to 50. But I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. I just want y'all to understand what we're dealing with. Let me make sure I miss out on no points. Make sure I miss out on no points. Oh, that's a good one. I almost forgot about it. I almost forgot about this one. And this was kind of like one of my main points, my main topics as well. But this is good. So not only do we understand and that we now know that we live in a place where food has been decided that it's not a basic human right, shelter has been decided that it's not a basic human right. You got to so we need to understand then, or we should question then, what do these people think a human is then? I mean, what are the basic needs and understandings of humanity? Since food isn't a human right, etc. We've talked about this before, kind of loosely, and I know you heard this saying before, that we had to understand that the place in the land that we live in is influenced and controlled through witchcraft, or what you would consider magic. I, as a former warlock myself, known unbeknownst to me, have practiced witchcraft and magic. Not at an extremely high level, like your entertainers do on a daily basis, or your politicians do on a daily basis, but at a level extreme enough to know that I was manipulating with forces beyond my physical capacity. What am I saying? We live in a society where witchcraft has become normalized to a point where we don't even understand that we're practicing and using it every single day. I just showed you the black mirror, which you would consider as your TV, but the black mirror historically has been used as the mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? It is a portal or a transfer of energy. We now use it for TV programming, but it's witchcraft. Another example of witchcraft is hello. Hell, oh. I don't know about you, but I don't want to exist in any realm of hell. But we use hell in a lot of instances that we do. Oh, hell no. Oh, I need help. Hello. I want to be healthy. Our English understanding of language is riddled in witchcraft. We're almost consumed by it. Witchcraft. How are you? I'm well. How are you doing? I'm good. I'm all right. These words suggest undertones of complacency. I've also read that even saying thank you and please is witchcraft. It might be a good use of language, but it keeps us in a place of, okay, I can deal with you. So those words, that's why they say a calm tongue calms a fiery spirit. What am I getting at with that? How am I tying this into the topic? So y'all don't get bored watching this back. So you don't get bored watching this. How am I tying this into the topic? I'm tying this into the topic because what I'm saying to you is that when you're being talked to, especially and particularly by your institutions, you need to know that they're using witchcraft on you in language. They call it legal language. That's the word for it now. Just like they say sex trafficking instead of just saying slavery. You know what I'm saying? You're being conditioned by a new form of witchcraft, is what I'm saying to you. Let's see. Correct. Tongues. That's absolutely correct. You're being conditioned by a new form of witchcraft. And this form of witchcraft, it's so subtle, it's so subversive that you don't really even notice it. So when they use language to you as far as like an election, the people's choice, you have to understand, what do they consider as people? We've been talking about, they don't even consider human and people are two different things. I just want you to know that. Human and people are two different things. They don't even consider humans to have the basic need for necessities. So what do they consider a people's choice to be? Who are then people? They're people. They're not considering us people. We're only good enough for our labor and the harboring of our spiritual essence. Truth is stranger than fiction. And if you really understood how these people look at you, then yes, you would go on the street, you would kill the first person, not human like you and I, but the first person that you saw. One of them. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you, Lord. That's a good one. The people's choice. We talk about it all the time. You and I have never chosen a president. If we have, it's impossible. They've all been related. It's impossible for us to have chosen a president. It's impossible, bro. It is mathematically impossible that if our choice has been represented and the best choice for what we've actually wanted is what we've been deciding on, there's no way in hell that every single president has been related. There's no way. There's no way. So I'm not gonna keep you long. For those of y'all watching this back, I'm not gonna keep y'all long. I just want y'all to think about some things, some key major points. They don't consider you people. Food is not a human right. Shelter is not a human right. Humans are overpopulating the earth. The laws for what we need to pasteurize and to collect and harvest our food with has been changed and altered to a point of mass production, not to a point of substance. And you and I have never elected a president in our lives. With all that being said, I don't suggest that you just go outside and start murdering. That's not what I suggest. What I do suggest is that you organize yourself in threes. I'm sorry, 3s to 5s. Because once you get to 5, you can get to 10. Once you get to 10, you can get to 15, so on and so forth. You organize yourselves in small pockets where good people do for good people on the basis of doing for good people. And you collect your resources and you share them with one another. That's what you do. And once you've done that, and you find yourself to be a number of 100 or to be a part of a community that exceeds 1,000, then you can go up against the state. But just know that the state is being backed by the feds. And the feds are being backed by the state. Once one institution crumbles, the other rises up. The only thing that you can control is what you do right now with your time and with your resources. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate y'all being here, by the way. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I might see y'all a little later or I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.